Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for my review of the 2017 film Molly's Game, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin and starring Jessica Chastain, Idris Elba, and Kevin Costner. And Molly's Game is a movie that's been getting some awards attention here and there. And is it deserving? I would say yes overall. Molly's Game is a very good film. It's not quite great, in my opinion, and there's a few reasons for that, which I will get into. But it is a very solid movie and an interesting story. For those who don't know, Molly's Game is based on a true story of a woman named Molly Bloom, who was a competitive skier and through some unfortunate circumstances found herself in a situation where she had to change things up basically, and she wound up being someone who ran a lot of very high stakes poker games. And this movie deals with all of that and also shows you some of the issues she had from there. Now, the film overall is very interesting. The acting is very strong. Jessica Chastain is excellent, as she usually is. Idris Elba and Kevin Costner are all strong in support. The rest of the cast doesn't have a ton to do, but they're okay for what they do. Aaron Sorkin does a solid job directing the film. I wouldn't say it's an outstanding job, which I'll get a little bit more into, but it's very competently directed, and he writes an excellent script here. The script is very strong overall. It stays interesting. The film is pretty long. It's around 2 hours and 20 minutes. But I thought the film actually got better as it went and got more and more interesting. So no real issue there. I was invested in Molly's character, which is important because she's the main character. I was also very invested in the situation of what was going on overall. And I like the way the movie went back and forth through kind of different timelines. As Molly was narrating the film, which I'll also get a lot into a little bit more. The movie does have a lot of characters. It jumps around a lot, but it never loses focus. It's pretty easy to understand, which I also thought was good. Also, the tone in this movie is pretty consistent as we jump through timelines, which I appreciated. It did all feel like part of the same film, which was good. As far as the technicals, they're fine. They're adequate. There's nothing that really jumped out at me as, fantastic, but the technicals are all pretty solid. The production design's good, the score is good, the cinematography's good, things like that. Overall, I would say Molly's Game is an involving movie. Couple problems that drag this film down a little bit, in my opinion. The character of Molly narrates a lot of this film, and I would say the film is slightly over narrated. The narration works for the most part, but the character talks very fast, excuse me, which can be kind of hard to get into at first. It was a little jarring until I got used to it. And there's certain scenes, that I thought we could have been shown a little bit more instead of told. As I've said before, film is a very, very visual form of entertainment, and sometimes it's like, show me more. You don't have to quite explain everything so much or tell me. I'll understand, the scene by you just showing me. My bigger issue with this film is that I think it's very over edited in places. There's some places in this film where during the narration we'll see quick cuts to all kinds of different things, different symbolism, things like that. And it's just not needed at all. In my opinion, it adds nothing to the film, and it got a little bit distracting, even annoying at times. It's not something that ruins the film, but I just didn't really care for it or find it necessary. Another slight problem with this film, there are a few moments dramatically that feel like they're not quite totally earned, in my opinion, but I did feel like this got better as the film went on, and I did think that the end of the film left an impact, which is the most important thing. So overall, like I said, there's definitely more good than bad. Molly's Game is an involving story, and if you're familiar with this story or you just like to watch interesting true stories, I think this film does the Molly Bloom story justice. Overall, as somebody who really didn't know a lot about it going into it. So overall, I do recommend Molly's Game, and I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's a solid film with very strong performances by the three leads, especially Jessica Chastain. And I do recommend this film. So 3.5 out of 5 for Molly's Game. And as always, thank you very much for watching.